Switch over to that. And hello, everyone. You have to forgive me for looking a little on the exhausted side of things. I've been up since pretty early this morning on next to no sleep. And I've been in the hot desert all day at an airfield doing a historical event, which is what this shirt is. It's from my tanking club. You may also notice, for those who are repeat visitors, there's a book where I usually have some tanks, and the camera angle is a little different. I'll go over that in a second, but there's a book where I usually have the tanks, because I still haven't brought the tanks in, but it was a lot of fun, and the book actually has to do with what we're going over today. Hello, Freya89. Welcome to the chat. Forgive me for scratching a little bit. But yes, so today I'm going to be playing Indigo Park. I don't know if the game's audio was off for you just now or not. I know it was on my speakers, but I think it's running in the background because it's focused on what's going on here. If it was, my apologies. If not, no worries. I'm playing Indigo Park because I've played it once before, and that is on my YouTube channel, where I recorded myself playing it, and I discussed during it that it was very similar to another game, or a D&D game that I've been working on since, Lord, 2015, 2016. So I figured I could play this and talk about that while getting a more perfect run, because in that run I missed a few items, and I apparently missed a couple of neat little secrets that I saw somebody else cover, and I wanted to see them myself and get myself on record having it. As for the camera angle, for those who are returning viewers, you may notice it's different. That's because, sorry for the adjustment there, but that's because I am working with a new monitor right now. I previously had two Dells that are about, I want to say 20 inches, maybe a little less, maybe less. And then the previous monitor that I was recording with was a Scepter that was about 23, 24 inches. This one is a 27 inch. So it's a lot bigger, it takes up a lot more space, and it has less borders, so I'm seeing more of everything. I'm blind, hence the glasses, so this makes it really easy to see. But I'm just, clicking a couple things to make sure here and there is good to go. So I'm gonna play the game again, and I'm gonna be going over kind of everything about my D&D game. And I noticed on this playthrough, the one who follows you around in this game is right there in the background. I've been circling for a little bit. My apologies for getting distracted by that. But yeah, she's right there in the background. So I'm very excited to share this with you all and discuss my D&D game for anyone who may be interested. But yeah, so let's go ahead and jump on in to a new game, override all previous data, and start from scratch.
For all who journey to this newfound paradise, we welcome you. Indigo Park offers a slice of the American dream to call your own. In this place, Echoes of days gone are brought back to life as a new generation captures a glimpse of the exciting potential of tomorrow. Indigo Park pays homage to the values, dreams, and unwavering truth that gave rise to our great nation. Here you embark on the journey of a lifetime, a place of creativity, joy, and passion, where your dreams so.
That is almost how my setup looks. All three of my monitors are lengthwise, but I got this one as the one that I'm currently using as a fourth, and one of my old monitors is going to be a sideways mount up on one of the walls in here, so that way I can see chat and stuff like that more easily. I know as far as this game goes for merch, they have an official Rambley directory. But I would love to see more merch and stuff in the future. I love stuff like this. That is a much clearer picture for me than it used to be. So, yeah, there we go, it's E. So yeah, I'm trying to find all of those that are out there. I managed to find the mascot head. The first time I grabbed it, it killed me. That's in my last video as well. But I need to do a more thorough search and make sure that I check every single nook and cranny on here. Because last time I started doing that, and then I was just like, nah, story. Oh, there's another one. That's right. Right there. Yeah, so, one of the big things that I kept bringing up during that was my D&D game that I've been working on since 2015. It takes place in an amusement park. I spent a lot of time making it, remaking it, remaking it, all that, you know, fun stuff that something's got blown in my eye. It comes with doing a homebrew D&D campaign, which it's based in like the regular books as well. I've just kind of cobbled things together, more or less. And I've missed running it lately because it's been a lot of fun, and it's such a big passion project for me. Kind of similar to Indigo Park's introduction there. I have a lot of inspiration from Disney. I've worked at Disney before. I've also worked at Universal and Knott's. And I actively work in entertainment environments. Oh, now that's nice. I don't remember that last time. You know, I've always loved that industry and just
Hi there,
people.
and welcome to Indigo Park, the world's most innovative and engaging family fun experience. Jump into the world of your favorite character. Wait, you're our first guest in 2,920 days, 4 hours, 23 minutes, and 38 seconds. Congratulations! I'm Rambley, Rambly the Raccoon, and it's my job to make sure your experience here at Indigo Park is the most fun it can be. Just hop on over to the registration center to your left, where our friendly assistant will help you begin your adventure in the park. Hi, I'm Rambly the Raccoon, and it's my job to make sure your experience here at Indigo Park is registered. Let me just get good.
You see the webcam light turn on, and I think that's great.
To have your face in our guest list. Is this your first time here at the park, or did you just get plastic surgery? No worries, it's Rambly Tuesday, so you qualify for a big discount on your visit. Just follow me to the main gate. Ooh, I can't wait for you to see everything Indigo Park has to offer.
Yeah, so my game is my D&D. I will straight up say this right now, just to clear any air. My game is not very similar to this at all, because my game, the park is still active. Primarily, the park is still active when you go in. So it's not like this one here where clearly the park's been abandoned for a while, something's happened, things are screwy, and you have to talk to the park's mascot on a digital screen like this because he's an electronic AI type thing.
Hold on. My mistake. The gate is not open. There seems to be an error message being sent on the gate's power unit. Lucky you! You get to be the first person to try our turn on the generator mini Rambly venture. Have fun!
So it's not anything like that in that regard. I'm not going to sit here and try to say that. Oh man, unexplained geese, untitled geese,
The Indigo
something like that.
Power generator.
The creator of this game, which I am very sorry.
Looks like it's missing.
Unique Geese. That's what it is. Unique Geese. I apologize to Unique Geese in case that gear just appears there. In case he ever comes across this video. But it's not like I'm going to sit here and be like, oh, he stole my idea. He took my theming. First off, mascot horror and mascot scariness is super common. Secondly, mine doesn't have any of that as its main theme. It's totally different. It's just such a unique vein that I'm familiar with because I've spent...
Okay, for real this time.
I can do that. Almost 10 years now working on this game. For my personal D&D game. And so when I heard about a amusement park video game coming out that wasn't just go in, ride the ride, do the thing, but was like a fully and intensely developed game like this, I was just like, oh, I gotta see this. And I explained that a little bit in the last video. I'm just kind of
silly Rambly.
talking about it because
Critter Cup that will allow you access to reserved areas, charge payments to your room, and wear a Critter Cup. I think there's some in the gift shop. Head in there and I'll get you set up.
It's just such uniquely fun theming. I feel like I'm missing something. I got her, I got the other two. See, this is cool too. Like, this amount of detail. I haven't even put that much work into the full aspect of my game yet. I've got like this kind of stuff here, but I haven't even thought of like what would a keychain look like, what would a t-shirt look like, you know, what exactly are the plushies. Like my descriptors for my shops, to be completely honest, are just, it's a shop.
There you go.
On the inverse of that,
your very own Critter Cup, a new way to interact with the park that also doubles as a pedometer, heart monitor, and mood ring. Data disclosure agreement included.
I on the inverse of that, I've fully developed rides, how they work, in part from the experience, like I said, of working at the amusement parks and things like that.
Uh-oh, the door mysteriously locked. Why not test out your band and save the day?
I have mascots and characters, tons,
Hooray! Great
and I
work,
mean
buddy.
tons of
Now
development
try entering
on
the park, and we can start
all
our
of that.
Indigo adventure.
Molly, that's her name. I'm gonna go back and take one last look around because I feel like I might have missed something. So, you know, I've developed all that. I've developed characters, lands, stats for each land, tool sets, armor, weapons, specific things that can and can't work, can and can't be done. Just tons, and I mean tons of, you know, hours put into it. And this book represents a base level of what there is. That's not even everything that's in there. It's just like the tip of the iceberg. That book right there is solely the maps. Now, not every page is full, obviously, but as time has gone on, some of the maps in there are now completely outdated. So I've had to put outdated or things like that in there, and I've had to redraw the maps entirely on other pages because it's like, oh, that's not a thing anymore. Or, oh, that section can't exist here because now it exists somewhere else. What's this? Well, at least I can go back and forth. Oh, that's not nice. I didn't notice that before. See, that's what I'm talking about. Like, it feels like his face is turning to match where you stand. Like, he's genuinely looking at you. Isn't he? If that is just the lighting mechanism that you've done for this game, that's incredible. But that feels like it's way more than that. It's like he's looking straight at me, still looking straight at me. Oh, I wish I could get up there. Yeah, that... Seriously, that's cool. But yeah, so, you know, stuff like that. I've got trash cans, employees, uniforms for them. I've got rides and things like that. I've got all kinds of stuff that I've put into the development for my game. And then I think I'm at... What am I at? Oh, I keep saying 18, it's 17. I have 17 different lands in here. It's a little hard to see, but this is just a rough sketch. I am not a good artist by any means. I could not develop it into the level that, like, Indigo Park is. But, like, I have 17 different lands, including... Oh, it is 18! I was right. Ancient World makes 18. I forgot about that one. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, so, like... Yeah, no, that statue, it's following you. It's following you, and that is amazing. Because I shouldn't be able to see his right ear here if it's over here. That's cool. That's really cool. Love stuff like that. That kind of attention to detail and that kind of work. And so 18 different lands, and it started off with like 3. And like I've gone absolutely bananas with it over the years, and one part of it matched with another part, and then I separated them, and then another land just didn't make sense, so I combined it with an already existing land and replaced the existing spot with something that does work as its own separate piece. And then one land turned into 3 lands. And I say lands, but it's more like Magic Kingdom versus Epcot versus Animal Kingdom versus Hollywood Studios for the scaling on this. So it's lands, but it's not lands, if you get what I'm saying. Personally, I just thoroughly enjoy every second of what I've done, and so far all the people who've played in those games have also enjoyed it, at least as far as I can tell. I've had other interested or potentially interested parties in playing, but I just can never get anybody together. Interesting. Molly Macaw's Rooftop Racers. I'm going to guess that one of these is probably, I think it was Leopold the Lion. Because I know Rambley's not fond of that co-compatriot of his, which is great. And that's something I did manage to add in as well, is some interpersonal struggles and things like that, characters that don't like each other. So I guess instead of continuing to talk about the few things that are similar, I should talk about some of the big differences. For starters, I don't know how big Indigo Park is, so I can't do that comparative. Like I said, I've got that 18 lands, and there's a small chance that I might have to add a 19th depending, but it's probably not going to be necessary. I think I know where to squeeze that area in. Another difference is, despite them being super common, I do not have a band for my park. Universal has the Nintendo bands for Nintendo Land. Disneyland has Magic bands. I have one for being a cast member. I don't have it out here with me, but I do have one for being a cast member. I think even Knott's is doing something with bands now. I don't remember. It's been over a year since I last worked at Knott's, or for Cedar Fair, technically speaking. I know they're working on stuff, but the bands are becoming more popular, and they're becoming a more common access point to get into these parks nowadays. And
Pardon our dust, buddy. Looks like the park is going through some renovations. For the inconvenience, your Rambling Tuesday discount will be 3% off. Why not celebrate this great deal with a ride on my railroad? To test your sleuthing skills, I'll let you find this one all by yourself.
ta-da. But yeah, what was I talking about? Yeah, I don't have a band. I don't even have like I haven't done a lot of that side of things, which this one feels way more developed in. Like I said at the start of this, my park isn't abandoned. The basic backstory is the original founder of the park has gone missing, and he's excuse me. Oh, sorry, just gonna do that really quick. I didn't need to, though. Thinking about it. Oh, yeah, I did, because of that. There we go. There we go. Times 2. Okay, one of the secrets is like around here somewhere. You have to be super fast. I think it has to do with right there. Might need to crank up the brightness for this one. Everything else should be fine. Oh, perfect. Yes. Yeah, that's all perfect otherwise.
Facial data suggests you may be a bit older than the target audience for this ride, but it's one of my favorites. Do you know why Rambly the raccoon loves Rambling's Railroad? Well, like trains.
Because if I remember correctly, Molly's costume thing is staring at you around this corner when you first come around, so I probably missed it just because of the brightness. But that's okay. There's always other chances I'll be able to see it. And if I miss treasures or things like that, I can always redo these and try again, because I want to get a perfect run, since there's no like real achievement for it. Ironically, one of the jobs I had at an amusement park was operating a train, kind of this scale, and it's not the runaway railway at Disney, I'll tell you that right now, because I haven't worked in Florida, and the one that's out here only just opened. So but yeah, I've operated a train before. Let's see.
Welcome to Rambly's Railroad. I'm Conductor Rambly.
Oh, look, they were friends. That picture right there shows them as friends.
Oh, look, it's Molly McCaw.
It's Molly McCaw.
Oh, right there, right there.
Ever saw.
You sure are, Mol. Why, you only crashed into 6 bars this week.
I'm not crashing, Rambly. I'm
She was
barnstorming.
right there. I know one other spot for sure that she shows up in.
It barely hurts at all. Say, those young adventurers you got along with me look like great fun. Why not try your hand at
Excuse me.
my ride?
Like I said, I'm on very little sleep right now.
Mission included with the copy.
You know, I never really noticed this song before. I
Oh,
like it.
Finley, come on out and greet the people.
I Rambly.
Why the long face and body?
You've known me for 100 years, Rambly. I'm always long because I'm always longing for a new seashell for my collection.
Oh, Finley, you should come out of your shell.
How about you come into it instead? My ride, Oceanic Odyssey, will teach you all about the wonders
Oh, yeah,
down under the deep blue sea.
So my park is absolutely massive. I've had to relocate it because it used to just be kind of a no-name park, but it was so big I had to look up areas for it, and the idea is that each land is separated by a mountain range. So I just looked up mountain areas, and now it's located somewhere off in France. I forget this character's name, but it would have been interesting to see this group functional. Sorry, that for some reason that right there was enough to just completely scramble my brain. Missing a gear, there it is. Yeah, I've had to design different areas, different things. One of my things actually would have to do with stuff like this. One of my lands is solely devoted to like repairs and vehicles and things like that. So think like Universal Studios. If you've never been, I'll explain it a little bit. But Universal Studios Hollywood has a tram tour, and those trams, they're real vehicles. They're not just kind of like this train here where it's on tracks, but it's more or less like a car. I mean, even these do have to go down for repairs on occasion. But
Hey there, Lloyd.
Do not shame me with that common folk name. I am the proud, the prestigious, the professional Lloydford L. Lion, actor extraordinaire.
there you
Great
are.
act, Lloyd.
Really good
Of
close
course
look.
it was.
So like where the actual steam trains, those kind of shuttles, and even sailing ship, things like the sailing ship Columbia at Disneyland and the steamboat, instead of going to a dock that gets covered with like a green screen, or the you don't see me green
What do you
screen.
think? Pretty fun, right? Now you know all about my friends and Lloyd. So where do you want to go?
I love that you can actually kind of see into that thing of we were followed right there. But as I was saying, there's an entire land I have that's dedicated solely. Am I a child? Because like, I'm a short person in real life, but I feel like I would be over this counter as an adult, unless this counter's like 5 foot. At that point, yeah, it'd be like up here on me. That's a really tall counter, though. I feel like, I don't know, maybe I'm playing as a child, maybe I'm not. I have no idea. Could be a younger kid, not a full child, because obviously Ramberly said that the intended target audience for this ride is younger than player character. But anyways, I have a whole land dedicated to that, where the roundhouse for the trains is right in the middle of the park, and it splits off from the train station. So the idea is you can get off the train, walk around, and see them repairing and working on another train. There's also an active runway and helipad where people can land personal aircraft that are then tended to and taken care of, as well as any aircraft used in other locations in the park. Like if they do a flyover, it's all maintained in park. There's also an aquatic area where all the ships can basically go through a tunnel. So like the sailing ships from the Pirates Land, any aquatic vessels from like the port, for whether they're for display or for actual use, because there's like a little port pier carnival area, stuff like that. All of it can go in there, and any guest can watch it being fixed. There's even like mech suits, and I don't mean that like, oh, you know, it's a giant mechanical outfit that goes over a person. So instead of just trying to dress up a normal person as, what would be a great example? King Kong. They can be a bit bigger than a normal character, and by moving their hands in one part of the suit, the whole suit can do it. And they can move their arms like this a little bit and get a little bit of elbow bending. It'll make them look better. It's like a full mech suit, like the Mech Warrior series or Battletech. Even things like Gundam, Armored Core. Oh, what was that one? Robotech. I was going to hate myself if I couldn't remember that, because I love Robotech. Any of those that are used in the parks, the ride vehicles. So even, you know, little dinky boys like this train here, stuff like that. Everything gets fixed in that land, and the guests can walk up and interact with it, and anyone can go to it. even though there's the private airport there that, like, if you're wealthy enough that you have the helicopter, or you know, your own private jet and you want to land it there, anybody can watch you do it. Anybody can see your plane. Anybody can see them work on your plane. Obviously, while they're being worked on, nobody can get right next to it, because that's just a health and safety hazard. And we don't want that. Not in any aspect, not in any career. But instead of it being all secretive, like a lot of these companies do, it's fully out there, fully in the open. It's a mix of, like, we'll give you the magic that Disney likes, while putting you in the story like Universal does. Oh. But if you really want to know how it's all done, even the park operations, you can see it as a real object instead of just, oh, this has got to go, and gotta go, you know, it's gonna take a little break or whatever. You can get the full hardcore experience of seeing everything. And if you don't want to see it, you don't have to. You can completely skip the land. It does have rides in it. I have a motion simulator in it, just while I'm thinking about it. And yeah, I know not everybody's going to I know not everybody's gonna be watching this or care about this part, but this is a part of what this is supposed to be. And I'm gonna do my best to hop back and forth. Here it is. Name still being edited. It's currently called Transportland or Transport Land, depending on which way you want to say it. But it's transport and land put together, so it looks like it's Transportland or Transport Land. Like I said, the name's under work. A lot of these names that I've come up with on here, and I've done with my amiibos here, which I've talked about in a previous video and showed a little bit. I'm sometimes half asleep when I name these things, and then it just stinks. But I have one here called the City Tour. I have a ride named Fight and Flight, which I might change the way that is, because it's currently fighting, like fighting without the G, but I might just do fight space N apostrophe space flight. I have Test Drive, which is located all the way back on the back side of it. It's like you enter this area here. Boy, that is really hard to see. So you enter from about here, and then there's like I said, runway, hangars. Once again, I apologize for my terrible drawings. Here's the oceanic repair area with a submarine ride, a helipad over here. It's a little hard to see without hitting things. That's where like the other rides are. So I've got like an Autopia style track. I've got a motion simulator for like flying through a city as like a news helicopter type thing. It's nothing super thrilling necessarily, like, oh, scary monsters or anything like that. Ooh, excuse me. But it's all neat stuff of like how mechanical stuff works, why you can and can't go to certain things with certain vehicle types, why you can and can't do, even though two vehicles might be from the same group, why this one can and that one can't. That's pretty much what that place is about. And I'm absolutely, that is one of the lands I'm happy with. The other one being my horror land, other than the name, but I ended up creating an actual in-universe excuse for it. Because I couldn't come up with a good horror-themed name that wasn't a direct rip-off of basically anything and everything that already exists. So I dubbed it as Spooky Land, which, once again, I'm not great with names. I'm better at naming than drawing, but not by much. At least for that stuff, and definitely when I'm half asleep. The problem, like I said, is I can't come up with anything else. So the in-universe reasoning for Spooky Land being called Spooky Land is, back onto the main subject that I got distracted by, or got distracted off, freaking ADHD brain, I swear. And that does come from an actual diagnosis of Asperger's syndrome and ADHD, which would explain my, everything, let's be honest. But, back on subject, the whole point of the thing is the original park owner disappeared. New guy took over and started changing things, quote, for the better. But some of this for the better was less of for the better. The Spooky Land was actually designed with people aged 16 and up in mind, no one else. So it wasn't like technically speaking, I couldn't bring my kids to the original designs for the land, which I do have fully fleshed out. I just haven't put that map up of the old days kind of a thing. Oh, that's cool. It's illusionary speed. I'm not really walking faster, it just zooms out and moves the same pace with a fisheye lens. It's a good way to make people feel like they're running. Or maybe I am moving a little bit faster. It's hard to say. But the point is, that's really cool. I didn't notice that until I stood here and then just started pushing shift.
Buddy, come over here.
But yeah,
This here is an information kiosk. If there's anything around the park you want to ask me about, just stop by here and I'll ramble on about it.
because last time I think I missed here, these two, because I think I got everything around, all of these ones. Maybe I got this one, but I missed this one and this one. So hopefully I can find those this time. But yeah, so the new guy the new guy in charge started changing. If that is one of the ones I missed, I feel so stupid for missing right there. He started changing things, so the Horrorland went from being, you know what? I'm just gonna bump it up and say movie theater rating NC-17. I'm not gonna leave it as low as 16. I'm gonna say it was like a full NC-17 kind of a thing. And not because there were a lot of lewd and adult themes. Yeah, I did have that one. It was this one and this one, I think, that I missed. And everything else I've got. And because of that, a lot of people were like, "Oh, it's a big deal," and it's because having worked as a scare actor as well for 4 years.
Wow, look at that! You're at Jetstream Junction. Oops, looks like Jetstream Junction's being tuned up. Check, there's a security officer in the back of the feed.
As someone who's worked in those fields, as someone who has gone at it and jump scared people as a profession, and I've openly talked at times I've openly talked about the things that I've seen and done, and just all that kind of shenanigans that has to do with, frankly, that line of work. I decided that the original idea for that area was going to be no one under 17 would be able to get into it because it's too intense. And as someone who's worked in an environment where they say, if you're under 15, don't come, I disagree with that. I know it brings in more profit, and that's ultimately any form of business out there. Any form of business. It's about making money. It always has been, always will be. No way that's going to change. For better or worse, that's just the way it is, and that's the way the world works. that's the way it will always work. Because if you don't work it for that level, you're not going to, you're not going to make it. You need to at least turn a profit to be able to buy new things. Where are some of those coming from? To be able to buy new things, fix things, upgrade things. Yeah, I know he scampered away. I wasn't paying attention. But yeah, you got to be able to check those things, and or got to be able to do those things, or your business goes out of business. I'm not going to deny that. But there's still like limits to things, because either
Hey, buddy, I got eyes all over the park, but I can't see anything behind the stage. You're going back there, be careful. The critter club is not yet able to resuscitate you.
the fact that that's an option is actually a little terrifying. I like the little ragtimey music here. That's the song Rambley sings at the end of the game. I just now recognize that. That's cool. They either need to limit the actors more, which will restrict the amount of people you can hire for those kind of events, or they have to restrict the guests, which will restrict the amount of... darn, I was hoping it would go on. Restrict the age limits on guests, which will reduce the amount of, finances you bring in. But you got to make a trade somewhere, It can't be both ways where anybody can do anything, but we're going to let in really little kids. I've seen kids freak out in there. I've seen people bring their kids in as shields. I can't name names because I don't know names. Not because of any NDAs or anything like that, but no joke, I have seen grown families bring their kids in and go, "You don't want to scare my kid, do you?" While basically hiding behind their kid. Like this. Like phone is the adult, this is the kid. They're standing behind their kid like this and go, "You can't scare my kid!" And people try things, people do things all the time, and I get it. People want to go in and they want to have the best experience they can possibly have and not be, technically speaking, pushed around. The big problem on that, from my perspective at the very least, is what a lot of people have done. And it could be alcohol. I'm going to be honest, because I've been to one of I've worked one of those where they sell alcohol in the park while we're staring. But a lot of people will come up and try to mess with us. And I've never understood that. I used to go to places like Knott's Scary Farm, Queen Mary's Dark Harbor, Universal Studios, Horror Nights. I didn't get a very good look at you last time. You're a big boy. I used to go to things like that, and when I was really young, I'd been really ramped up by my family, due to them not liking those kinds of things, due to their own upbringings and beliefs and things like that. I'd been ramped up that it was going to be absolutely horrifying and traumatic, and the first few times I was on edge. I was like this the whole time. I mean, you can kind of see my response going back to that for a second the first time I played through here, when I came back out of the little Rangers only door here. And that's just the old school upbringing that I was raised up in. I mean, my grandmother was born in 1919, for crying out loud. So I mean that's kind of the ideology and age group that I was working with, or living with growing up. Not working with. What am I talking about? So I've never felt like those spots should be for the little kids. So originally my spooky land was very much the same way. Ages 17 and up only, maybe 16 and up only. But, saying NC-17 for the sake of clarity and balance. And to give a good reference point. Because I think the cinema stuff is international. I have no idea. Yeah, no children under 17, kind of a thing. There's windows right there. How did I not notice that? I was just in there and I didn't even notice that. I am dumb. Oh, it's Finland. Sorry, I'm trying to see if I've missed one of the plushies, because I think at this point it is too late for me to get one of them that I should have gotten. Which means I am now cranky with myself. But to be fair, I'm talking, so. Yeah, so I thoroughly believed with that section that's the way it would be. But with... Oh, hi. I think my flashlight is dead right now. That's supposed to be that way? Because I don't remember it being that way before. Interesting. I don't remember it being this dark last time I did this. I know there's been some updates since the last time I played too, so... Oh no, flashlight's working again. Alright, yeah, so my spooky land was kind of the same way, but when the new guy took over, he turned it from like that kind of an element into, I mean, one of the most international rides out there. It's a small world. And there's nothing against it's a small world. I actually have come to enjoy that ride. As a kid, I was like, no, it's slow, the song's annoying. As an adult, I'm like, this is not a bad ride. This is a great relaxation thing. Music by the Sherman Brothers, may they both be able to rest in peace together now. Hopefully they were able to get enough of the differences aside before passing individually. But back on focus. Excuse me. I just I'm just saying, for like the level of scariness. Because there is a certain kind of creep factor that a lot of people talk about when it comes to It's a Small World, with all the dolls having all the same face, which was intentional to show that we're all part of the same world, we're all the same people, and so on and so forth. I don't need to go into the history of that ride, because that's not my place. Not my circus, not my monkeys kind of a thing. I grabbed that one twice. Neat. still have this one. So I see it there. Let's find out if it was put back on the table when I came out of there. It was. Interesting. I don't know if that's just a programming bug that doesn't register it as already ticked off, or if that's just intentional or what. But it's cool. It's neat to notice. I love looking at stuff like that. Because that stuff is what gives me helps me get ideas for what I'm doing. Because a lot of my park stuff is, to be completely fair, based off of my personal interests and my likes, the characters, the locations. I have 3 stores in my superhero land that are dedicated to actually, I'm going to move one of those out of the superhero land. I think I'm going to put it on my main street. But I have 3 stores in the whole park dedicated to my love of 3 separate groups for 3 separate things. For Marvel Comics, we have Excelsior Comics, which is Stan Lee's trademark catchphrase, for those who don't know. And if you didn't know, I'm actually surprised you didn't know, because, I mean, Stan Lee is pretty much internationally loved. But there's a chance. So I'd rather explain it. No judgment. No, wow, that's so lame or anything like that for me. Just, I know things happen. Shop of photos. Nice. Nice. Voluptuous villa? Designer clothing with your favorite characters? That's cool. I've never actually... By Moon by Night alternative gifts. So that's got to be the Hot Topic equivalent, or Spencer's Gifts. Maybe not full Spencer's. Maybe not full Spencer's. But yeah, no, my God, that's cool. I never noticed that before either. There's so much that I missed. So I like replaying these games too, especially when I'm doing stuff like this where I'm like, I gotta find the things. But yeah, then with the spooky, like I said, they turned it back into the more family-friendly version and called it Spooky Land.
Hey, why don't you check out Molly's Rooftop Races? It's not far from here, and it's a great warm-up before we get into the bigger rides. Just take it up at Molly's landing pad.
Oh my. Oh, they're deliberately up on the cranes, but this one came off the crane. Okay. I don't remember this being here last time either. But I also wasn't paying a ton of attention. And at this point I know I've missed a couple of things, so I'm well aware that I'm going to have to do another playthrough at some point. But yeah, the new owner changed a lot of stuff and things like that, and that's what affected the story of the game. Oh, I'm bad at this. I'm bad at platformers, so. This is also the end credits song. Which, by the way, is on a playlist that I listen to on the regular because I really just enjoy it. premiered at the end. But oh, and I found love. That's cute. Yeah, so a lot of those changes have been happening, and like full lands have changed. The way that certain things operate have changed. And then what that's done is the characters are so rooted in their stories, the natural way that they existed, so to speak, that it's causing the characters in their own, like, division world, so to speak. Please excuse a little crackling. There's a little more trash on my desk than I would like. It's causing them problems. And while most people kind of go, and move on with their lives, there's some people out there who are dedicated to the company, huge lifelong fans, etc., etc., etc. That, oh, that's a launcher. Yeah. I thought it was like a Mario Warpipe for a second. You know, I said I was bad at platformers and then proceeded to only fall the one time. If you watch my first playthrough, you'll see that I'm not as good as I'm being right now. Normally. Yeah, so that's changing. So the characters start reaching out, and the players, who are basically people who... Yeah, so that actually kind of is a good representation of it. It started warping the characters. Many of the older characters know what they're supposed to be, as well as many of the core characters, which I have at least 4 core characters per land. Oh, I'm about to do a boss fight, so... so like the characters, the newer characters don't know. Even if they were made with the previous owner at the helm, so to speak, they don't know everything that's going on. So for a lot of them, when the changes occurred, they were relatively unfazed. But the core characters and some of the other characters are in suffering because of the changes. One of the characters that my players interacted with, they were talking to her, and she was like, well, I know that this is supposed to happen. I know that this is supposed to happen, in reference to some of the stuff that had already happened. I love looking at this little Thunderbolt-looking aircraft. It's one of my favorites. in real life. So, she's like, I know that this is supposed to happen and this is supposed to happen, and it leads to, and then I described her basically like peeling between multiple layers of reality, and all the players could hear was the sound of excruciating pain, and her screaming without her actually screaming, like no visible motion of the face, just kind of locked in a permanent pose, kind of like this statue here would be, but like on her last syllable, and then it all slams together, drops to the floor, breathes heavily, gets up, and then goes, "Hi, welcome to this area, because my name is," hang on, we've had this conversation, haven't we? And it basically hard resets her if she tries to remember the old ways. Not the old ways, but the old lore, the old stories. Things like that. And it causes them actual pain, and it's the party's job to fix that. Through all 18 lands, all 4 major characters as well as minor characters, they have to deal with interference from people hired by outside groups that shouldn't be able to access the same world, but they are. They have to fight against in-universe characters that are like, nah, I like it better this way. And then things like that, and it's made for a. I don't remember this before. Hold on now. Ooh. Ooh. That's cool. I dig it. I didn't notice that last time. I don't know why I didn't notice it last time, but I didn't notice it last time. But yeah, stuff like that.
No, this is horrible. Looks like Molly crashed into the light again. Don't worry though, your pal Bradley has the repairman on speed dial.
So I love that. That's great. That's kind of like the facial expression type thing, without the twitching, obviously.
We're sorry. The number you have dialed has been disconnected or is no longer in service. Please check the number and dial again.
Say, why don't you check out Molly's landing pad? It's not far from here, and it's a great cooldown after that exhilarating ride. Just take a down from Molly's rooftop races.
But yeah, so it's a lot of like those kind of elemental interferences and things like that, and I like I said, I've poured a ton of work into it. I've got references to people I've actually worked with in the game. They are aware, and a couple of them think it's absolutely hilarious, and a couple of them have looked at me and gone, "I don't want to be part of your nerd culture thing. What am I supposed to do with that?" And I was like, you literally get to slap people around. And he goes, "Oh, alright, that's fine, I guess." And left it at that. Like, that's great. I don't remember doing that last time. It's been a little while, though, so I could be easily mistaken. Red star. So red is star. Nothing else in here. Green triangle. Red star, 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 blue star, green triangle. Come on, get up there. Red star, blue star, green triangle. red star, blue star, green triangle. Red star, blue star, green triangle. Green's already triangle. Perfect. Technically, I could just guess that one, but I'd rather go through everything. It gives me more time to talk. Not that I honestly need the assist for talking. Yeah, it's you just going through stuff like that. I've got those references. Like I said, I've got Excelsior Comics for Stan Lee, and then I have West's Best Dressings or something like that. I forget what it is. It might be West's Super Suits or something like that, and it's a reference to, of course, Adam West as Batman. It was Yellow Circle. And that's because Adam West was my favorite Batman, and he was the equivalent of Stan Lee in the Lego Batman games, and I thought that was perfect for him, and just a great way to have him be a part of it and part of the culture. Yeah, I'm not going to get those other two. Oh well. I can at least show where the mask is for the character. A lot of these result in weird dead ends. That's the way I gotta go. So I'm gonna go this way. I'm gonna be quiet for a little bit as I concentrate. Missed my bounce. I have to sit up for this probably, just so I can concentrate. Love that picture. It's a really good, like, gory picture. I smell that. There we go. Of the soundtrack for this game, if I haven't mentioned that before, it was absolutely amazing. Rambly Head. First time I saw that, I had to do a double take and it got me killed. It should be in the other video.
Ah, there you are, buddy. Wait, hold on. This won't step over me. Come on in, new staff!
Best job interview I've ever had. Alright, now I can talk again. The fact that there's real blood in what I thought was a mascot suit, kind of creepy.
Welcome to the
And it's
Racing
a
Wranglers.
little jumpy between the
Here we
two
have plenty of amenities.
videos.
I can see in your facial tracking that you're scared, you're angry, upset. Transparency is an important part of the policy here at Indigo Park, so you need to be honest about something. The park has been inactive for years.
Excuse me.
Sweet.
Yeah, so it's
Excited to see a visitor, and I wanted to be sure you're given the best experience possible. I was confined to the entrance for so long, I didn't realize just how much this appeared.
I have the West suits, which is, like I said, Adam West, and then the last one I have is the
But
Sherman Brothers Instrument Store, to reference, of course,
in my database.
Bob and Dick Sherman,
Just can't execute most tasks without authorization from a human
who
user.
basically have written most of our childhoods.
Park matters to you too, right?
Alan Menken also did a lot for Disney specifically, but the Sherman Brothers covered Disney and non-Disney. They've done
I'm so
a
excited.
ton of
Let's
stuff.
Get this place back in business.
And it's been...
Okay, welcome to the crew, Rookie Wrangler. Register. Your first official job as one of Rambley's Wranglers, register, is to get out of the Rambley's Wranglers room.
So I'm missing one of him, and then... here's this one.
Uh-oh, that Rambley's Wranglers room is only accessible by Royal Wranglers. Maybe one day you'll grow up big and strong enough to enter it. But for now, no.
Yeah, so I think I did do better. I'm missing that one, the Rambley Raccoon plush. Yeah, so I have those references. Some of my characters are references to games or things like that. Yeah, so I have a lot of nods to that, and I know other people do that too. I know a lot of people follow it by the book, and they follow it religiously, and if that's the way you want to play, hey, more power to you for D&D stuff. Yep, I'm missing the standard Rambley plush. And that's it this time, because I got this one.
Hey, buddy, did you dig that out of the lost and found, or was it in the trash? No surprise, I guess that our park would dispose of a non-Indigo brand toy. I suppose he'd make playtime special for a child with poor taste, though.
Because I think that one's a reference to another game. Which, what a neat way to add in that little kind of Easter egg and detail. Stuff like that. Like I said, that's what I've been doing as well. Quick Pass, Lightning Lane, Fast Pass, Genie Plus, VIP,
Wow,
etc.
it's to Oceanic Odyssey. You're doing a great job, Rookie Wrangler.
This is the part where usually I get distracted.
You'll find a puffer and porpoises, pickles, and perches as far as the eye can see. Please don't tap the glass.
Watching the tunnel.
Really?
That I didn't see the first time. I think I might have been looking in the other glass as well, and oh,
Hey, buddy.
here's the song.
Okay? You look kind of tired. Do you need a moment? Don't worry, it's fine. I don't blame you for taking a rest after all that. Heck, I could go for a nice, relaxing defragmentation myself. But before you settle down, you up for a little survey to help us improve the park? Thanks for visiting Indigo Park. Hope all your dreams came true. If you've got some time and you're up for a lark, stick around for the Rambley review. I'm here to offer my best to each valuable guest I assist. And lots of happy feedback ensures I get to exist. Were you satisfied with the rides? Yes or no? Were you satisfied with your guide? Do you plan to come back? Will I see you again? Did your experience convince you to tell a friend about us? Did I earn your trust? At Indigo Park, there is a stark contrast to everything I know this place should be. But out of the dark, you've given a spark of sunshine to this kingdom's faithful
I love his music too. Tom Hart Jr. I don't recognize right now.
More than a remarks on mysteries, even I don't know what we might find. But fight through the dark, and I'll be your spark of sunshine to get you out of any bind. That is, if you want to keep going. Oh, idea! I know all of this isn't fair to you. It's an awful lot to ask. But here comes Rambly Review Part 2 to sell you on our task. I'm here to view and assess each valuable guest as I learn. And lots of happy feedback ensures you're gonna return. I'm so happy you rode a ride. I'm so happy to be your guide. So come back anytime, I'd love to see you again. In all my thousands of days, I've never had a friend like you. At least I hope I do. At Indigo Park, there is a stark contrast to everything I know this place should be. But out of the dark, you've given a spark of sunshine to this kingdom's faithful devotees. At Indigo Park, more than my remarks are mysteries. Even I don't know what we might find. But fight through the dark, and I'll be your spark of sunshine to get you out of any bind. Till all my old friends are united again, and I won't feel so left behind.
A lot of them had a very interesting face.
Okay, I'll let you go.
Maybe it was just Rambly. Yeah, it looks like it's Rambly at the bottom. Oh, hang on, I gotta check a chat message. Love you. Just really quick. Close. Okay, I'm trying to see. Let me, okay. That one was actually fine. I had an issue the other day where a buddy of mine posted a fairly long message because he was just chatting with me, and I just noticed on Twitch that RoboFigment has requested somebody to not send a long message, and after checking it, I'm gonna leave it at that. As is, so to speak. So, anyways, just really quick with this, let me swap it over to the intermission screen, and yeah, I loved this game. Playing it the second time was even better because I got to get that one more that I didn't have previously. And I love the music in the game. It's incredibly well done. I recognize some of the YouTubers and musicians that got to play test the game. I noticed on there, and then like the Jake Neutron is someone that I've listened to songs from before. Unique Geese is someone who has done really, really, really well with things, and or with this game, and I am honestly very happy to play it. It's not a long game, so I could probably play it again. I just need to be a little more thorough. And, you know, because if I could find the base Rambly Raccoon plush, there we go. If I can find that base Rambly Raccoon plush, I'd be golden. I don't know where it is for sure. But it is for me, it's worth doing. So I'm gonna hit continue this time, actually. So we're gonna go back to live.
Hey, buddy.
Okay, it literally just drops you back at the credits
I'm kind of tired.
if you do that. So I do have to start from square one again. Good to know. So we'll go ahead and do that. I'm gonna bypass the cutscene this time. Just so I can try to get into it a little faster. But yeah, I'm gonna grab the ones I already know. We're looking for regular Rambly. And of course the ones on the shelves don't count because that'd be too easy. We've got to find them loose in the environment. Like those two. So as long as I don't cross over...
Hi there,
that's where the
and
gear's
welcome
going.
to Indigo Park, the world's most innovative and engaging family fun experience. Jump into the world of your favorite Hey, you're our first guest in 2,920 days, 4 hours, 23 minutes, and 38 seconds. Congratulations! I'm
So
Rim.
I have a lot of references
and it's my job to make sure your experience
in
here
my-
at Indigo
in my
Park is
personal
the most
game
fun it can
for
be. Just hop on over to the
things that I love
registration
and
center
enjoy
to your
and stuff
left,
like that.
where our friendly assistant will help you begin your adventure in the park. Hi, I'm Rambly the Raccoon, and it's my job to make sure your experience here at Indigo Park is registered. Let me just get a good look at you. Don't seem to have your face in our guest list. Is this your first time here at the park, or did you just get plastic surgery? No worries, it's Rambly Tuesday.
It's one of the
so you
things that I've done as well as some of the
discount on
characters
your
that aren't.
visit. Just follow me to the main gate. Ooh, I can't wait for you to see everything Indigo Park
Or even
has
the
to
ones that are.
offer.
Actually. Some of the characters can actually like transfer around within lands. They have a homeland that you have to liberate them from or start accessing to be able to get them out of there. So, for example, in regards to characters, the mascot of the park is the daughter of
What's the holdup?
the queen of
Gate's
my
open.
fantasy
Head on
area
into the entryway.
and
Hold on.
the
My mistake.
general
The gate is
of
not
my
open.
one of the generals in my
An
sci-fi
error
area.
message being sent from the gate's power
So the
unit.
general can go
Lucky
in and out of
you.
the fantasy zone.
You get to be
The
the
queen
first
can go
person
in
to
and out of the
try
sci-fi
it.
zone.
Turn on the generator.
The
Later
park
in the
mascot,
lecture.
like Rambly,
Have
would
fun.
be here, or Mickey Mouse for Disney, or I guess for Universal, they don't really have like a specific mascot, but we'll go with Snoopy for Knott's Berry Farm and a lot of the Cedar Fair parks, to be honest, from what I've heard and understood. Yeah, it's gonna be right there.
The Indigo Violet Compact Power Generator. Seems to be inoperable. Looks like it's missing a
Taking my hands off the
Find it?
controls just in case. Oh. Alright. That's cool. If I somehow miss it again, I'm going to look up that when it comes in. That is a clever way to do it. Because if I see Molly, that would be a really neat way of like, yeah, come in. Yeah, this is fine. Don't worry about it, kind of thing, you know? I think that would be really, really cool.
Okay, for real this time. Welcome to Indigo Park.
Let's see, here's the Molly McCaw plush. Broken TV and Turnstile. I think he said it's been like somewhere over 2,000 days.
Every guest needs
That's
a grid of
over
stuff that will allow you access to reserved
almost
areas,
10
to
years.
your room, and wear a
Because 10
critter
years would be
cup.
3,650
Get in there and I'll
approximate
get you set
days.
up.
Yeah, see, none of the Ramblies in here are going to count because it's too obvious. But still, all the same.
There you go, buddy. Your very own critter cup. A new way to interact with the park that also doubles as a pedometer, heart monitor, and
Did I
food rate.
really grab at that? Interesting.
Uh-oh, the door mysteriously locked. Why not test out your band and save the day?
That is a really buff arm, I gotta say.
Hooray! Great work, buddy. Now try entering the park, and we can start our Indigo adventure.
Yeah, so, you know, lots of nods, lots of references, which I find to be very common for homebrewed games. You're already following me. Ooh. Kind of lag spiked when I went in there. That's fun, though. I'm supposed to be going over the differences, and I'm getting so caught up in like what I'm doing right now, trying to find that one plush. It's the completionist. It's the super nerd and the collector in me. No, we're not going in there. So tired. But you know, just lost my train of thought completely there. My apologies. Yeah, the so land-wise, that would have been a cool little thing of like, oh, you've beaten the game once. Let's let you in there and see something neat, little Easter egg or something like that. You know what? I think I'm playing as like a teenager. It's got to be what it is for the height thing. Because like I'm tall enough for like the door frame and stuff, but at the same time, I'm not for a lot of the things that I should be tall enough for. So I'm gonna guess teenager. But yeah, one of the things that I've done in regards to that, let's talk player characters. One of the things that I've done is I've created stat blocks for age groups. So you could play as like a little kid guest. You could play as a teenage guest. You could play as an adult guest. A senior citizen type guest, middle-aged guest, any of that kind of stuff guest-wise. But you can also play as an employee, and you get different stat setups depending on what you pick. And then from there you can even pick like which land do you work in versus what's your favorite land if you're a guest. Excuse me, oh my word. The next section, I guess. So, for example, somebody works in shops, has advantages with buying and selling things. And then depending on the type of shop, you get extra minor advantages. So let's say just for the sake of example, let's go with you as a person are playing in this game and you've decided to be a clothing vendor.
Hi in our desk, buddy. Looks like the park is going through some renovations. For the inconvenience, your Railway Tuesday discount will be 3% off. Why not celebrate this great deal with a ride on my railroad? To test your sleuthing skills, I'll let you find this one all by yourself.
That would mean that you would get advantages on checking clothing quality. So that's the regular sign. Let's see if we can spot her this time. There was the wing. Got it recorded. We did it. Okay. Enough of me being weird for 5 seconds. Let's thoroughly check things. So yeah, you'd get bonuses on those checks. So you could go up in the shopkeeper could be like, this is the finest silk you'll find for miles around. One roll with advantage, and you could be like, this is polyester, not silk, and all of a sudden the shopkeeper looks foolish. And because you're a shopkeeper, or you're also a shopper, you have a better chance of bargaining. Going, look, I buy and sell things on a daily basis. You buy and sell things on a daily basis. Let's be honest with each other. We both know that's not what this is worth. Blah 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 blah. However, as
data suggests you may be a little older than the target audience. But it's one of my
there
favorites.
are disadvantages that go with these as well. So someone who's good with clothing would know like clothing and armor really well, but you're going to be more gullible when it comes to equipment items, kind of a thing. And some of that's still being fine-tuned, admittedly. This game's been quite the work in progress. Sorry, my chair's shedding all over me. Yeah, it's oh god, I just disappeared from my own camera for a second and scared myself.
Welcome to Rambley's Railroad. I'm Conductor Rambley. Oh look, it's Molly McCaw.
It's Molly McCaw, the greatest pilot you ever saw.
You sure are, Mol. Why, you only crashed into 6 bars this week.
I'm not crashing, family. I'm barnstorming.
And then if you work at like a toy shop, that's what usually turns into weapons, equipment, and things like that when you go into the worlds. Which I'll get onto that kind of stuff in a little bit.
Why not try your hand at flying in my ride? Rooftop racing.
Admission included with your critter copy. Oh, Finley, come on out and greet the people.
Hi, Rambley.
Why the long face and body?
You've known me for 100 years, Rambley. I'm always long because I'm always longing for a new seashell for my collection.
But
Oh, Finley, you should
you know,
come out
things
of
like that.
your shell.
And then with
How
the land
about
stuff
you
as well.
come into it instead. My ride,
That's
Oceanic
where
Odyssey, will teach
You get like,
all about
oh,
the
you
wonders
have
down under
a
the
better
sea.
bartering system with,
It's as blue as me.
you know, you work in
I
sci-fi
hope you'll visit.
in the shops, we'll say, for that clothing thing. So you're a clothing seller in sci-fi. Buying anything from any shop in sci-fi, you're going to, you know, have the advantage and things like that. Just because, oh hey, I remember you. Even if you don't remember those other characters, they remember you. Kind of a thing. So they know who you are, even if you don't know who they are. Kind of thing. So you'd have, you know, buyer's advantage on that, even resale advantage on that, because that's your homeland. Then on top of that, some biscuit. Lloyd's limos. That sounds cool. You wouldn't necessarily have that advantage in the other area, the other lands, but you might have disadvantage in one that's kind of dissimilar
Do not shame me with that
to
common
the
folk
land or
name.
something like
I
that.
am the proud,
That one's been something I've debated
professional Lloyd
back and
Lion,
forth.
actor extraordinaire.
Great act, Lloyd.
Of course it was.
And I know weapon-wise, I have things set up for that, and that's what I'm going to go into next. Is one of the things that I've done with the game is.
So, what do you think? Pretty fun, right? Now you know all about my friends. So, where do you want to go?
So once again, none of these, because they're too obvious and too easy. So it's got to be around this area somewhere, or I've already bypassed it and not realized it. If I don't find it this time, I'm going to look it up, and I'm just going to speed run the damn thing way faster than I'm doing right now. But with all that in mind, back on what I was saying, the way that a lot of the stuff works is double check in here because I know I checked before, but. Like 10 years. I'm surprised anything's in any form of good shape, to be honest. My brain just shut down again.
Buddy, come over here.
For a second, it looked like it still had a shadow there, even though I took the plush. Right, weapons. That's what I was on.
This here's an information kiosk.
So the way that the game
Anything about
starts.
the park you want to ask me about, just stop by here and I'll ramble on about it.
Because I'm worried that we already missed him. Because I know, at the very end of the game, running away, flight area. Oh. I already have the Rambleberry.
Whoa, where'd you get that? Brambleberries are my favorite!
Interesting.
Oh, if only I could jump out of the screen and take a big bite. Don't eat it! Maybe I'll be able to one day!
I love that little panic. Okay, interesting. Interesting. Right, equipment again. Man, I am bad at this life stuff. So yeah, the players are gifted equipment by the park's mascot once they do the full conversion. Initially, I had everybody rolling for it. I think on this new playthrough that I'm going to be doing, there won't be any rolling. No one's gonna roll to connect because I had one player so oblivious I ended up having to force it after
Wow,
about
look at
20
that.
minutes.
You're at Jetstream Junction. Oops.
In
That's what
a
Jetstream
3-hour
Junction
game
used to
session,
be. That's
and
what
it
Jetstream
just took
Junction
way
is.
too long.
Maybe a friendly wrangler
So
can help you
I'm
today.
going to be doing the rolling in the background for like what's happening to the park as everything progresses. How much they're noticing for a little bit while they're still going about their days, doing their work shifts, doing their visitation, going on their favorite rides, checking out their favorite things. After that, that's when they get to meet with Perry, and this is all like day 0/day 1 stuff. So I'm not. I feel comfortable talking about this because it's not like a big time spoiler, I suppose. I don't know, maybe it's something that now that I've said it, I probably shouldn't have or whatever, but overall, like, excuse my yawn. I don't feel super like, oh, if I tell this, it's gonna ruin the game. That's what I thought. I'm so scary charging up this aisle, even though you're like 30 times my size, and a lion.
Hey, buddy. I got eyes all over the park, but I can't see anything behind the stage. If you're going back there, be careful. Your critter club is not yet able to resuscitate you.
But once the players get their equipment, we'll go with, because your land and your land choice does kind of affect, or at least it used to. I'm debating removing that because it gets really hard to cross over, and some people are like, oh yeah, I like the horror land, but I don't want to be anything to do with magic or like handling creatures. I want to be, like a Death Knight type of a thing. So I'm debating just fully getting rid of that. But it used to be like, oh, you picked the. I know that was a bad example after saying magic. I meant like solid spellcaster versus someone who's got melee and stuff like that. So that's on me for not being descriptive and proper enough on that. I like I said, I might get rid of that. But previously it was like, oh, you could be a priest, a warlock, or a ranger for that land. Apocalypse had priest, druid, and marksman. Fantasy had paladin, warrior. I can't even get close enough for you to actually get a kill. Oh wow, I can stand on you when you're. That should be a I feel like that should have been a thing where I could die to Lloyd because I'm right there. But that's not my choice. But yeah, actually, if I don't find it this time, I'll just resume the talks about D&D. I won't worry about doing it again. And I'll try again in another stream on another day. Let's make sure. Oh, look at that. I can see the windows right there. I bet you anything I looked right at or through them on one of the previous playthroughs. It was just like, huh, I don't see it. Love having a short attention span. Anyways, there it goes again. So once you get that equipment for that, like you know, for can't tell if that was a bug or if it's just too hot back here. If you were like the marksman class, which is basically the same as like a ranger, but no pet control. You focus mainly on your weapons. You got a starter weapon themed to one of the lands that could do the ring, that class. So if you did pirates, you got marksman, you had a flintlock. If you were Old West, you had a lever action. And then if you were Apocalypse, it would be like a jury-rigged sniper rifle type thing. But those pieces of equipment specifically would also change for each land you go into. So when you're in the main hub or the central hub or the main entrance, you would have it be like one of the like amusement park grade plastic little popper rifles. For the musket looking one, the flintlock. For the lever action, it would be like one of the... We missed that last time, or at least I did. I saw her in the doorway watching you. Or watching me, I guess, is the proper phrasing. I knew she had to turn up around here somewhere. You know, I almost wonder if she triggered that just because she didn't want Lloyd to get player. But anyways, so it would be like a toy version of it, like you'd buy at a store or even in an amusement park. You know, the kind of thing you'd expect. But when you go into the lands, it turns into the equivalent weapon type. So you picked Apocalyptic. You've got the cobbled together, build your own marksman rifle with which is your personal soulbound item, we'll call it, for lack of a better term at the moment. That would mean that one could never be sold. It would not be viable in the functionality that it has. One thing I didn't get to go over with my players that I wanted to, I just haven't been able to yet. I ran through that too fast. My brain's already on speed running. Biscuits and gravy.
Say, why don't you check out Molly's rooftop races? It's not far from here, and it's a great warm-up before we get into the bigger rides. Just take it up at Molly's landing pad.
Okay, so I already have the berry, which is really cool. Because that means I don't gotta do that one again. The sheepdog thing is up there. Poodle. It's a poodle. Sheepdog thing. Good lord. The poodle is over here. I know what a poodle is. What is wrong with me? But yeah, so when you walk into... So you have that set up that way. When you walk into the fantasy realm, it turns into a crossbow. Because that would be more of the marksman thing. And I know the real world stuff about crossbows versus bows that made bows technically...
Looks like Molly passed into the light again.
Technically speaking, the better item, even when crossbows are first out. But I wonder if the Rambley's in one of the
We're
tunnels.
sorry. The number you have dialed has been disconnected.
That would make so
or is no
much
longer in
sense.
service. Please check the
Anyways,
number and dial again.
Say, why don't you check out
Since
Molly's
that's not
leaving
working,
pad?
we'll go
Not
down.
far from here, it's a great cooldown after the survey line. This thing is down from Molly's rooftop races.
But yeah, so the weapon would change. If you're a sword fighter, it would turn into something equivalent for the realm you're in. Things like that. And my long-term goal with it is to get everything set up pretty well to match what's going on. And there's a few things where I'm like, I really can't think of anything. But one thing I expanded it into, admittedly, that I'm actually really proud of myself for doing, was I managed to expand it all from just that base stuff into other things. So, like, we had a pet tamer, somebody who specialized in it, custom class for the game. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be the exact same, so it's not too hard to remember because we just did it. Interesting. Okay, so the run definitely does affect it. Good to know. Oh, wow, yeah, I can see now there's nothing else down there. No, I don't remember her being there the very first time. I think because we did that out of order, we didn't get to see that the very first time. So we got to pay attention to what we're doing. We, I mean me, because let's be honest, I'm the dumb one here. And I'm the one playing the game. Yeah, the textures stick to it. Which is actually pretty cool. Well, Rambley wasn't in here like I was hoping. Alright, so that means I'll probably either look him up or just try my luck again another day. But that's fine. He's probably in a corner that I've walked past 1,500 times, I'm going to be completely honest. He's probably like right there, and I'm going to look at it and be like, well, you gotta be kidding me. And I'm gonna feel like a fool when I see it. So I watched another YouTuber play it named Super Horror Bro. Around the time that I released my video, I don't remember if my video came out before I watched him or not fully. But ooh, that's not good. But I know I watched it, and I know he did get the rampage. I just don't remember where he grabbed it from. Oh, that's not good. So I may have to watch another video like that or something. I don't know, but we'll see what can be done. The scene hurts so bad for my pinky finger because I'm holding down the shift button for so long. But yeah, so a lot of the weapon will change to match the environment, as will your clothing. So if you're wearing as your form of armor,
Wait, hold on. This one's staff only.
like
Come on in, new staff.
just basic medieval fantasy cloth stuff. When you get to sci-fi, you get like basic tunic. If you're a soldier, you get equipment equivalent to your gear. So, like a bare bones
Wranglers registered will. Here we go.
Basic.
Amenities.
basic military garb, like a simple
Upset.
robe and things like that.
Policy here at Indigo Park.
You
About something. The park has been inactive for years. Or the stuff.
oh, that feels better. Just crack it like that.
I just was so excited to see Mr. I wanted to be sure we're giving the best experience possible. I was confined to the entrance for so long. I didn't realize.
You when you're in sci-fi, instead of it just being like a basic tunic, you would have like light armor or recon armor or something like that. In the Old West, you'd probably have just like a simple shirt and pants set with
I have access to
maybe
the
a badge,
repair
something like
documentation
that.
in my database. I just can't execute most
Things like that.
tasks
It
without authorization
changes from land to land, but it's not just the clothing. It's not just that.
Come here because
Our pet tamer,
right?
who had a way of fighting on her own, but because that's where
Your
I'm
facial
starting
tracking data
this.
that you aren't opposed to this.
But she
I'm so excited.
mainly
Let's
focused on
get
the
this
pets.
place back
Her pets
in
change from
business.
environment to environment as necessary, and that may be the thing that I end up
Okay,
doing with
welcome to the crew, Rookie Wrangler.
some
Your
of the
first
stuff.
official job as one of Randy's Wranglers.
And I say some because why are you not the collectible? There's certain things that just
Uh-oh, that Randy's Wrangler's room is only accessible by Royal Wranglers. Maybe one day you'll grow up big and strong enough to enter it. But for now,
they God, why is my brain drawing a blank? Yeah. Dag at it. Because there's no more unlockables in this section. Still the one. So like her pets would change. She got her first pet in the prehistoric world, which she decided to try to tame a velociraptor.
wow, you made the Oceanic Odyssey. You're doing a great job, Rookie Wrangler. You'll find a puffer and porpoises, pickerels, and perches as far as the eye can see. Please don't tap the glass.
Just want to see it. Oh, you could see him from here. So how did I not see him last time? Maybe I was looking at a wall or speaker or a door or something.
Hey, buddy. You okay? You look kind of
So with
tired.
that, we're gonna hop to
Do you
this
need a
thing
moment?
really quick.
Don't worry, it's fine. I don't blame you for taking a rest after all that.
we'll just let Rambly,
Nice relaxing defragmentation
Ramble.
myself.
I suppose.
Settle down. You up for a little survey to help us improve the park?
Actually, I might be able to
Thanks for
just...
visiting Indigo Park. Hope all your dreams
no.
came true. If you've got some time,
Wait.
then
If I do that and that... There we go. That might help. Just maybe. Let's... Just maybe. Perfect. And then you're going to hear it again. Perfect. Okay. It's not that I don't love the song. I want to talk. Excuse me getting up and reaching over. I'm just turning off my fan because I can hear it in the background too, and I'm sure that's been annoying the whole time, but I'm trying to cool down everything in here because it heats up pretty bad back here, unfortunately. Oh, there we go. So it looks like, yeah, I did miss the Rambly because I just got a pop-up for every collectibles location. Rambly was in the first area on top of one of the boxes. And I really... Do I want to grab it right now and just call it there? I think I probably will once the credits end, and we'll do it fast. Just get it done. But with that in mind, going back to everything, so the player captured a raptor. We took it into the fantasy world, and I made it into a goose because raptors are not like the ones in Jurassic Park that you're used to seeing, where they're like the size of a human. They're actually, technically speaking, for Velociraptor, it's actually rather small, closer to what Dilophosaurus looked like in Jurassic Park. And the Dilophosaurus is actually closer to Velociraptor. But yeah, so she captured the Velociraptor. It turned into a goose when she went into the regular world, and I get it, same attitude, same problems. Because for me, that was pretty much on the nose for what I was going for. But that is, of course, not all there is to it when it comes to that stuff. You know, there's always other things that are in there for what it could be, and it changes. Like I was debating actually changing it from a standard goose into being a goose hydra, but then I decided if I was going to do that, I can leave it as the single-headed goose, and then if it gets attacked in combat and somebody does take the goose's head with one of their strikes, when the battle is over, the goose will slowly recover and grow the second head along with the first. But I don't know if that's what I wanted to do with it, but that's not something that's coming up right now for the new version of the game. We may be switching to an online version of it, which means I'm going to have to put all my resources online and try to words are difficult. I'm going to try to get it to I get these bursts of being able to speak. Get it to be other things. Try to think a little more thoroughly. Or if a player has a request and it's within reason, do it for those things. Online, I'm going to have to try to find a way to be able to get the rules that I have for my game onto a thing. Because I know there's like nat20.com or roll20.com or whatever it is, and then there's like DnD Online, things like that that are out there. But I don't know how well they function. I've never done it before. I know you can go onto like Discord and play and hit like /roll d20 and get rolls, but I don't. Oh man, I don't know if that's the way that I want to do it. I've got to test things out, and I've got to find players. That's what ultimately the biggest thing right now for me is. I need to find players to do this, and that's why I do share these things. I like to talk to people about them, and you never know who's going to sit there and be like, well, actually, now that you mention it, that does seem pretty legit and sounds like something I'd like to do. I have a coworker who absolutely cannot, due to rules, regulations, and the potential power dynamic that could be affected, but he likes one of my games that I have. And the reason it could be affected is he's technically a lead for me. And according to the rules and regulations that most workplaces do have, hanging out with your coworkers after a shift, just hanging out, is considered okay as long as none of you outrank the others. So it's not like I worked for GameStop for 4 or 5 years. I never made it to lead. I never made it to any position with any true power. I was what was called a key holder, which means I can theoretically open and close a store, or hold down the fort while an actual lead is away, such as making a deposit run or going and signing for something elsewhere that would require them to not be able to be in the store. I can do that. That does not give me the power to hire, fire, schedule, or boss around. I worked for GameStop for a grand total of, good lord, 20. I started working in 2017 during the holiday season, and then I stopped working in 2020, and then went back in 2021. And then stopped working again in 2023. So that's about 5 years of time that I've spent there. In 5 years, that's all I made it. I can go and hang out with any of the other regular coworkers there. Anyone else who was like, I'm just, here, I'm a standard store assistant. I'm a standard, whatever they called it, game assistant or something. Game advisor. I can go and hang out with any of them. I could go into an amusement park with them. I could go into a museum with them, hang out with them at an aquarium, have them in a D&D game, play games with them online. However, for most of those 5 years, I worked under the same 2 guys. All of our conversations were at work. We were, of course, recorded, so all of our conversations were kept to a safe level, because the stores have recording equipment to make sure in cases of potential theft and things like that. So we always kept it as good as we could. And we would talk about comics, we'd talk about movies, we'd talk about TV. Obviously, we'd talk about games. I mean, we work at a GameStop. What easier subject is there? We'd make fun of each other in the ways that we were all comfortable doing, and if anybody got uncomfortable, immediately stopping and all that. But we never talked outside of that. I didn't go out of my way to go out of work, find my manager or my assistant manager or my one or two shift leads that I had, because we were a very low staffed store because our store was very small. I never went out of my way to find them outside of work and interact there. Because that would be a liability risk for not only them but myself as well, because if I'm the one who's initiating it, it shows a disregard for rules and things like that. So that's why that one guy can't play, but he's very interested in the other game that I'm maining right now. But it's not the end-all, be-all of it. If I were to transfer departments that I'm in right now, he's no longer a lead over me. That would allow him to be able to play. However, that's still not a guarantee that he would play or that he would feel comfortable having worked over me at one point and things like that. So that's been the biggest problem, is there's a lot of room for growth in my job, and people tend to do that growth really, really well. Which means anybody that I would want to have from my work come and play the games at a game store or online from the safety of their own home for their comfort or whatever, we can't do. Because there is the risk of that potential move up, that shift around, things like that. So it sucks, it really does, but there's not much I can do about that. At this time, though, before we go back into it, because you know I'm just going to do it, I'm going to swap over on my screen, and I'm going to take a quick break, just to take care of a couple things really quick, and then I will be back probably within the next 30-ish minutes, I'd say. So if anybody needs to take a bathroom break, I mean, you guys are watching, you guys can do whatever, but if anybody out there has been like waiting, I'm going to take about 30-ish minutes to take a bathroom break myself. I'll refill my water jug, and then we'll get back and try to speed run grabbing everything, because we know where everything else is. It's just finding Rambly himself. So I'm going to go ahead and mute and swap over to the Be Right Back screen, and I will be back in a little bit. myself. And then, alright, we should be coming back. Perfect. Swap back over to live. Just waiting on one more thing. Wait. There it is. Alright, so we are back. Rambly should be up front. We're gonna do this fast, and then we never have to do this again for a stream. Alright. Ooh, speed run. Still gonna grab everything else except for the berry, because it looks like the berry stays safe. So, according to that, he is somewhere in here.
Hi there, and welcome to Indigo Park!
Hello, Rambly, the automated thing.
Family fun experience. Step into the world of your favorite hamburger. Hey, you're our first guest in 2,920 days, 4 hours, 23 minutes, and 38 seconds. Congratulations! I'm Rambly the Raccoon, and it's my job to make sure your experience here at Indigo Park is the most fun.
Since I already have that, I'm gonna see if I can't figure it out.
Where our friendly assistant will help you begin your adventure in the park.
Okay. Where did I push? Yeah, it'll give me a chance to look at that.
Hi, I'm Rambly the Raccoon, and it's my job to make sure your experience here at Indigo Park is registered. Let me just be good with the teeth. Don't seem to have your face in our guest list. Is this your first time here at the park, or did you just get plastic surgery? No worries. It's Rambly Tuesday, so you qualify for a big discount on your visit. Just follow me to the main gate. Ooh, I can't wait for you to see everything Indigo Park has to offer.
Okay. So, I think I saw a picture of it. It should be inside of there. Should be. So we gotta wait until... I'm gonna hate myself if it's in there. Because how much time have I spent in there looking at things?
Head on into the entryway. Hold on. My mistake. The gate is not open. There seems to be an error message being sent from the gate's power unit. Lucky you! You get to be the first person to try our turn on the generator mini-ramp adventure. Have fun!
Alright. So if what I'm seeing is correct, go in here. Not there or there.
The Indigo Violet compact power generator. But it seems to be inoperable. Looks like it's missing a piece. Can you find it?
Okay, so it was just sitting there. When I came back, it was right there. Okay. God, I feel stupid. How many times have I played this game now? 3 on stream. This is time number 4. He was right here. Alright.
Okay, hurry up this time. Welcome to Indigo Park.
I don't remember that the last few times. That little, like, theme music.
Oh, silly Randy. Every guest needs a critter cuff. That will allow you access to reserved areas.
I love stuff like that. I love that. Playing through again and again and hearing that stuff. Alright. I don't know what more to talk about for my D&D game right now. I feel like the biggest thing...
A new way to interact with the park that also doubles as a pedometer, heart monitor, and mood ring. Uh-oh, the door mysteriously locked. Why not test out your band and save the day? Hooray! Great work, buddy. Now try entering the park, and we can start our Indigo adventure.
Oh Lord, we're gonna be running. Once we get to friggin' the first information kiosk on the other side of the railroad, I'm gonna check things and see if it still has everything, or if it's it just confirmably has the Brambleberry.
Looks like the park is going through some renovations. For the inconvenience, your Rambling Tuesday discount will be 3% off. Why not celebrate this great deal with a ride on our railroad? To test your sleuthing skills, I'll help you find this one all by yourself.
As far as like D&D stuff goes, if you catch me on another live and you're like, hey, I remember you talking about the D&D stuff, feel free to ask. Oh, there's more than a wing there. That was cool. So we got a sprint. One thing that I know bugs a lot of people who are like super into railroads, like super railroad enthusiasts, is mistaking a conductor for an engineer. And I know that that's what he's about to do. So the engineer is the guy who operates the train, the conductor is the person who gives you the tickets. Most people don't care. There are people out there who do, and they get really angry about it. And I know that because I worked on a steam engine, and people do get pretty uppity about it. But with that in mind, most of the people that called me a conductor when I was doing the steam engineering were kids. And kids don't know any better, so nobody cares. Plus, it makes it really, really easy for kids to just see it that way, and then they can learn about it more in the future. Some rides won't do that. Like, I know the Runaway Railway, Goofy is Engineer Goofy, wearing the same exact basic outfit that Rambly is here. And none of this is meant to be like, pay attention, do it right. I'm just explaining what I think Unique Geese was doing here, thinking of it from a kid's perspective, where the kid would just enjoy seeing this, and they would know the term conductor. So, you know, it's just a neat little thing to add in. Yeah, as far as like the rest of the D&D stuff goes, feel free to ask me any questions of your own volition on any of my other streams or anything like that. You know, this isn't me, once again, this is not me trying to pick on Unique Geese. This is just something that I had to deal with being on a railroad. And generally speaking, most people just brush it off. But I know someone out there is likely to say something, likely to do something about it, and be like, oh, it's not. Kids don't know. And Rambly pretty much admits that this ride is meant for little kids who wouldn't know, nor would they care. Oh, man. Let's get rid of that. But yeah, it's just a thing that does happen. So that's just something to keep in mind. If that's something that's bothered you when you've played through the game or watched somebody else play through the game, not everybody's gonna know because it's like super particular. And while some people will absolutely be upset about it, it's not worth arguing or fighting over. Okay, so it does reset everything but the Ramble Berry. So that means I can grab this one, and then this one, this one, this one, this one, and that one. But yeah, as far as the rest of the amusement park stuff goes, my amusement park D&D goes, for my sake, and because I have players that like all kinds of different things from all different walks of life, kind of a thing, I've tried to put as much time studying into it as I can. I appreciate getting informed on things that I have mistaken, while saying, because there are times where I don't have any experience doing that line of work or acting on that kind of thing. You know, it makes it better for me. I get a chance to learn. And as long as somebody's not being like totally, rude and up in my face, like, God, get a life, do this better, do that better, I don't really mind. I don't mind being corrected. Hello, new viewer. I've seen somebody flickering on and off on Twitch. And I forgot to say it when I saw an extra viewer on Facebook. My God, that's the wrong one. YouTube as well. So hello to everyone who has viewed. I apologize for not greeting you guys sooner. I've been just kind of, rambling myself. But yeah, so I do appreciate that when it comes to that. But I've also tried to put as much time into studying it as I can. I'm not going to play the piano this time. There he is right there. So that's where he's hiding when he lunges. Yeah, so the other Star Wars game that gave it away. The other D&D game right now that I'm running is a Star Wars game. That one's more finalized, and that one doesn't require as many players. It still has some custom rule sets, because there's some things that I've seen in the other Star Wars games I don't feel like they cover well enough, or they don't get particular or specific enough in regards to like certain things that can be done. But I do still enjoy it. I'm DMing because all of the people that have played in the past are like, yeah, we don't know enough about Star Wars that we could take over for you if you wanted to play. And I'm like, I probably shouldn't play because I super nerd out when it comes to Star Wars. And stuff like that, so I'd probably have more fun as the DM anyways, because I get to be all the different characters that I've grown up loving. I could have turned on the flashlight the whole time if I'd paid attention to the instructions. Sorry, my ears have been itchy lately. Oh my God, the desktop audio has been muted this whole time. I forgot to fix that. I apologize for how awkward that must have been. Because that means you guys didn't hear any of those conversations or anything like that the characters were having. But then again, we've done this is the third time now. So wouldn't be too surprised about it, but that's gotta be awkward. I'm still very new to all this, so I'm still learning and trying my best, I promise, even though it doesn't always seem like it. I tend to do these things after long days of work or things like that, so it tends to slip. But yeah, the other one I'm doing actively right now is a Star Wars one, which is what that coworker of mine wanted
I need to check out Molly's rooftop
was
ride.
interested in, but
It's not
you
far
know,
from here, and it's a great warm-up before we get into the bigger
for
rides. Just take
valid
a walk.
reasons, he doesn't feel comfortable doing so. Sheepdog thing, poodle. I'm never gonna let myself live that down. I can guarantee you that.
Oh no, this is horrible. Looks like Molly crashed into the ride again. Don't worry though, your pal Bradley has the repairman on speed dial.
Oh, cool. I don't know if I needed to even go all the way up to the ride. I'm assuming so. So it sounds like everything's using that. Wait, we already know the code. We already know the code. Why did I open that? I didn't need to open that. I'm so dumb. See, I wasted time on my little speed run there. I'm sure somebody else has already done it faster. Just to be honest. Yeah, I'm also working on a couple other games. I'm working on a Pokemon-themed one, which the Pokemon and the Star Wars ones are definitely going to be, or definitely not going to be streamed, because it is me running with somebody else's hard worked for intellectual property, and that's definitely not going to fly with a lot of people. And I'd rather save myself troubles, issue, and stress. I enjoy my job. I enjoy being able to do even like this, and I don't want to do something that jeopardizes my happy place for work, my happy place for play, and my ability to do, as I've discussed in the previous videos, which I believe I was doing amiibo training for one of them. I enjoy being able to at least feel like I'm making a difference in people's lives. It's because I turn around. I always forget that one's the one you don't turn around on. Had to happen eventually. I enjoy being able to feel like I'm making a difference in other people's lives by doing stuff like this, making these videos. It elevates my personal mood to feel like I'm making a difference in somebody else's. Somebody else is going through a hard time. I'm going through a hard time too. But if I can make you feel better, that snappy is that went way too fast on that turn. Probably shouldn't take my hand off the mouse during that chase sequence. But if I can help you guys out with a lightened mood and elevated feelings and things like that, I feel accomplished. It's why I've taken all the jobs that I have. I love doing that. I love being the guy who, at least in some small way, participates in making your day that much better. And yeah, it's not necessarily the greatest reason for it. I don't know. I feel like it's a fine reason about it. I know some people out there are going to judge me for it, but I enjoy making people feel better, and it makes me feel better to know that I'm at least trying. Maybe it's selfish, maybe it's stupid, but it's worth it to me. If it does make a difference, if it does help somebody, even for just 10 minutes of watching me be stupid.
Come on in, mister!
It's just something I enjoy. And it's something I think is a wonderful thing that I'm able to do. Both at my job and here.
Okay. I can see in your facial tracking that you're scared, angry, upset. Transparency is an important part of our policy here at Indigo Park, so...
So, you know, it's just, it's...
The park has been inactive for years. Employees stop showing up.
It's a nice feeling.
The mascots are...
And I don't want to lose that with...
I wanted to be sure you were given the best experience
going public with these these already existing IPs, and making them my own, for the sheer fact that someone out there
sorry for the inconvenience.
Could potentially...
But I have an idea. I have access to the repair documentation in my database.
Potentially
I just can't execute
see it as me trying to claim it as my own.
From a human user. You must have come here because the park matters to you too, right? Would you be willing to help me restore the park?
That could cost...
I can see in your facial tracking data that you aren't a part
everything
of this.
that I've
so
worked on
excited.
for
Let's
so
get
long.
This place back in business.
And just be it in general potentially problematic.
Your first official job as one of Ramley's Wranglers
for not just, like I said, not just this, because if it was just about this, whatever.
That Ramley's Wranglers room is only accessible by Royal Wranglers.
But it's not just this. It's my actual career could potentially be affected by it. And, you know, Star Wars isn't mine. It belonged to George Lucas from the time he created it till the time he sold it to Disney. From that point forward, unless Disney sells it back or sells it to someone else, woo! All 12. Unless Disney sells it back to George Lucas or sells it off to another group, Star Wars belongs to Disney. And it is their intellectual property that they have been working with and making their own stuff with. And my game does take from a little bit of everything. And I'd rather not have somebody see that and then go, oh, well, he's made his own timeline, therefore he's trying to claim this as his. We have to take him down. And then in the case with Pokemon, I know the Pokemon company itself tends to be pretty chill about things. And as much as I love them, I know Nintendo is not. And I don't want to risk that because I love Nintendo. And I feel like if I got slapped with a cease and desist from Nintendo for doing something like that, that might really not be all that big of a deal for most people. It would break my heart. I would be personally devastated by it. So I'm not gonna stream those. I will stream my own amusement park one because the characters in there, other than a few little nods here and there,
wow, you made it to Oceanic Odyssey. You're doing a great job, Rookie Wrangler.
Original characters.
Purposes, tickles, and perches as far as the eye can see. But please don't tap the glass. I really know what he's
with that, I can officially call this done.
Hey, buddy. You okay? You look kind of tired.
Go ahead and remute that desktop audio. And I'm going to swap it over to an ending screen shortly. Ooh, we are turning too fast. But yeah, I love these properties and I love these IPs. That's why they're referenced. But I'm not going to go so far out of my way with it that I run the risk of losing everything I've built up right now for me and my family's needs over my little fandoms. And anything that could cost me this. As it stands, between my AI mod, who made a second appearance today but off of Twitch this time, and my username, there's a chance I may already have to. I just don't know what to change it to right now for both of them. And I'd have to remove the picture for the mod, because right now it's him, but I don't know if that'll get me in trouble either. I don't know exactly what's going to happen, and I may have to change up some stuff. I just don't want to draw so much attention to myself by blasting out there Star Wars DnD Day, or things like that that aren't already existing things, because there's a chance that something could go wrong, and it could ruin everything. It could put a stop to everything. It could be totally fine and nothing could happen. And I don't want to risk anything that could do long-term damage like that. I don't know. Maybe I give it a shot, and then if they send a cease and desist, I stop and I take it down. Maybe I can do that. I have to think on it, because that's a pretty big deal, no matter what I do. But I've got to figure it out one way or another for those. But the main, like I said, that main D&D, that main amusement park one, because it's more of my personal stuff that I've come up with in my own free time, based off of experiences I've had. That is why I'm comfortable doing that one. Because I think that would be acceptable. And maybe it wouldn't be. Maybe I'd get the cease and desist for that, and I'd have to do something else. There's a chance that could happen too. But I'm going to a certain degree, I'm going to minimize the potential of having a problem. And we'll go from there. Another one that I know I would not be able to stream for sure is I wanted to do a Horror Icons D&D where every player has every player has 3 or 4 characters. One from TV, one from movies, one from video games, and then one random choice. And you pick the horror icon from one of those. With that in mind, it wouldn't be like, oh, I'm gonna pick Jason Voorhees for movie, Chucky for video game, and Freddy Krueger for TV, because they were movies first, they would be movies. On the inverse of that, you couldn't pick like Freddy Fazbear and Springtrap, because Freddy Fazbear movie and then Springtrap video game, because it's based off of what they first appeared in. Not what they're appearing in outside of that, not that they aren't allowed to have the Friday the 13th movies, Friday the 13th TV show and video games, and Nightmare on Elm Street video games and stuff like that. It's just that because their first and more popular or more common appearance was in movies over video games, that's what it would be focused on. But I wouldn't be able to do that because that's a lot of IPs from a lot of different groups and a lot of potential problems. And I would rather not, once again, spark up a lot of those. But there's other things that I could do. A little sip of water there. But those are the ones that I'm mainly working with right now. And I know some people have been... I've talked to some people about the Pokemon one, and that one is getting a lot of interest as well. I just have to finish a couple mechanics up, and then I'm actually doing maps, which I may make into another live stream, D&D map editing. But I'm working on that and trying to create like a player map where everybody could see it, and it would have clickable links on the map that would allow you to zoom in. So like it's an overall map of Kanto, and then you click on Lavender Town and you can see all the Lavender Town stuff, and then you click on I don't want to say Lavender Tower because that's too obvious. Same thing with the Pokemon Center, but I think it's the Name Reader lives in Lavender Town. I'll say it is for now, and then I'll correct myself later and be like, "Oh, I'm an idiot." But one of the important people, like the Name Reader or something like that, lives in Lavender Town. You click on his house, and it shows the inside of the house, and stuff like that. And that's what I would have the players working with and things like that. So I think that would be a lot of fun to do. But yeah, we'd have to wait and see what I can get done with that. Like I said, maybe we'd put those maps up. Maybe for the amusement park maps, I'd be able to show you guys like making the maps, doing the detail work. One thing we're planning on doing is using the Planet Coaster software, the amusement park game, to actually build each individual ride with thematic elements, so that people could see what it looks like, what it feels like, what it sounds like as it's going, things like that. I think that would be a lot of fun to do, but we'll have to wait and see. As far as everything goes for now, I think that we will end our video here at slightly over a 3-hour mark. And I want to thank everyone who tuned in, everyone who came in. Freya, you sent a message for your first time here on the chat, and I appreciate that because it lets me know that I'm reaching more people through posting about it or through this. I'm still editing all my stuff for what's going on. I have my YouTube channel linked on Twitch, and I believe on YouTube I do have a link to the Twitch. And on the YouTube of this, at the end here, I'm going to edit in the original playthrough I did, where I missed everything. And you can hear a little bit about it, and a little bit about my experiences working in an amusement park setting, because I talked more about that there. But yeah, I'm glad I got to share this. I'm glad that I got to talk with some people, or at least talk to you guys, and you listened, you watched, whatever it is, and I appreciate it every single time. So with that, I will be going back to Indigo Park's main menu, because we were at the thank you screen, and just like they thanked the play on the game, I want to thank you guys for being here and putting up with me through 3 runs in 3 hours and a lot of talking. With that, I will see you guys in another video or another stream. And thank you again.